Hello and welcome to Let's Play The Rings of Kether by Andrew Chapman, presented by Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone. Okay, this is book number 15 in the Fighting Fantasy series, and here's the front cover. Okay, let's read the synopsis. Fighting fantasy books, over 12 million copies sold worldwide. A dangerous undercover mission on a wild and lawless planet. Corruption is rife in the Aleph Cygni system, and the flow of the illicit narcotic Satofil D from the spaceports of the planet Kether has grown to enormous proportions. Several attempts have been made to crack the notorious drug rings of Kether with no success. Now the Galactic Federation has entrusted you with this dangerous undercover mission. But will you succeed? 2 dice, a pencil and an eraser are all you need to make your journey. You decide which way to go, which dangers to risk, and which enemies to fight. Cover illustration by Terry Oakes. Okay, there are Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone. There they are. Okay, Puffin Books, The Rings of Kether. Corruption is rife in the Aleph Cygni system, and the flow of the illicit narcotic Satofil D from the spaceports of the planet Kether has grown to enormous proportions. Several attempts have been made to crack the notorious drug rings of Kether with no success. Now the hard-pressed Galactic Federation has entrusted you with this extremely dangerous undercover mission. You must find the source of the drug and bring all those concerned to justice. But beware. Kether is a wild and lawless place, and you are on your own. 2 dice, a pencil, and an eraser are all you need to embark on this thrilling futuristic adventure, complete with its elaborate combat system and a score sheet to record your gains and losses. Many dangers lie ahead, and your success is by no means certain. Powerful adversaries are ranged against you, and often your only choice is to kill or be killed. Okay, Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone present The Rings of Kether by Andrew Chapman, illustrated by Nick Spender, Puffin Books. Okay, so we have done all the way up to Temple of Terror. We've done Trial of Champions and a few others, Creature of Havoc. So we're now on book number 15, and we'll do Seas of Blood after this. After these videos, I'm going to do Star Wars on the Sega Master System. Look forward to that. Look forward to that one. Anyway, but for now we're doing The Rings of Kether. Okay. Puffin Books, first published 1985. Text copyright Andrew Chapman, 1985. Okay, let's go through the usual rubbish. Let's read the mission first. Your mission. You are a narcotics investigator for the Galactic Federation. Just before I do this, I will put in the video description, or I have put, by the time you're watching this, I will already have done it. I will put in the video description the time stamp or whatever for when I actually start the adventure. So if you want to skip all the usual nonsense, you can do so just by pressing the timestamp in the video description. However, the rules of this book are slightly different, so you might not know what's going on if you don't watch this. So I'll just put that disclaimer there. Anyway, so if you want to skip this and just go to paragraph 1 immediately, then by all means just press on the timestamp and then it'll take you there. Anyway, so your mission. You are a narcotics investigator for the Galactic Federation. Recognized by your superiors as being among the best in the field, you have been issued with the latest in interstellar scoutcraft and dispatched single-handed to crack a suspected drug ring in the Aleph Cygni star system. Before you can begin, though, you must determine your strengths and weaknesses. For this, you will require 2 dice and a pencil with which to record scores on the adventure sheet on pages 14 to 15. As it is possible you will not successfully complete your mission in your first adventure, you may wish to take photocopies of the adventure sheet for future adventures. Okay, your ship. Roll 1 die, add 6 to the result. Enter this total under the weapon strength section of the adventure sheet. When firing at enemy spacecraft, you will need to roll less than this to score a hit. Okay, so let's do that. So let's roll one die and add 6 to the result. Okay. No. No. Nope. 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 Yes. Okay, so we get a 6. That was lucky, wasn't it? Okay, so we're adding 6 to the result, and this is our attack strength, or whatever it was. What was it? Weapon strength, sorry. Okay, so... Okay, weapons strength. Let's just replace skill with that one. Anyway, weapon strength is 12 then. Excuse me. Roll one die. Enter this score in the shield section of your adventure sheet. You will lose points from the shield score whenever you are hit by fire from enemy spacecraft. If your ship is hit when your shield score is 0, your ship is destroyed. Okay, so roll one die and enter this score. Okay. No, nope, nope, yes. Okay, so we get a 5 for that. So our shield's score is 5. Let's put a 5 for that one. There we go. Okay, and then let's go to the next page. Okay, your abilities. Your abilities to fight, withstand damage, and escape from tricky situations are determined by your skill, stamina, and luck. On your adventure sheet, you will see sections where these attributes are to be recorded. Roll one die, add 6 to the result, enter this total as your skill score. Okay, so we're rolling one die and adding 6 to it. Yes, good. Oh, first time. Okay, so we get a 12 for skill. Roll 2 dice, add 12 to the result, enter this total as your stamina score. If your stamina score ever reaches 0, you have been killed. So roll 2 dice and add 12 to the result. Nope, 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 nope. Come on, that's better. Right, okay, let's put that down as 10. So 10 plus 12 is 22, so we get a stamina score of 22. Roll one die, add 6 to the result, enter this total as your luck score. Nope. I can wait all day. Okay, 5, that'll do. Okay, so add 6 to that, and that's our luck. So that's 11 luck. Okay, that's that. Testing your luck. On occasion, you will be called upon to test your luck. When this occurs, roll 2 dice. If the result equals or is less than your luck, you are successful. If the result exceeds your luck, you are unsuccessful. Each time you test your luck, reduce your luck score by 1 point. Blaster combat. Modern weapons being what they are, blaster combat is fairly short and extremely deadly. It is conducted as follows. Roll 2 dice. If the result is higher than or equal to your skill, you have missed. If the result is less than your skill, you have hit your foe and inflicted damage on it. Deduct 4 points from your opponent's stamina. If your opponent's stamina has reached 0, then your opponent has died. If your opponent is still alive, then your fire will be returned. Yeah, so it's me first, then them. Roll 2 dice. If the result is higher than or equal to your opponent's skill, your opponent has missed. If the result is less than your opponent's skill, your opponent has hit you, deducting 4 points from your stamina. If you have not been killed, start a new combat round by returning to step 1. Note, if you are faced by more than one opponent, you may select which one you will direct against which one you will direct fire. They will all return fire simultaneously, unless dead, of course. Hand-to-hand combat. Hand-to-hand combat is conducted just as in other fighting fantasy books. If you're already familiar with this system, you can skip this part of the rules. Otherwise, combat is simultaneous. Hand-to-hand fighting is a series of clashes in which one combatant will do damage to the other. Roll 2 dice. Add your opponent's skill score to the roll. The total is your opponent's attack strength. Roll 2 dice again, add your skill score to the roll. This total is your attack strength, so it's them, then me. If your opponent's attack strength is higher than yours, the opponent has inflicted damage on you. Deduct 2 points from your stamina. If your attack strength is higher than your opponent's, you have inflicted damage on your opponent. Deduct 2 points from your opponent's stamina. If the attack strengths are equal, both attacks have missed. Start the next attack round from step 2 above. Continue this combat until either your stamina or your opponent's is reduced to 0. Death. Ship-to-ship combat. There are 2 modes of attack in ship-to-ship combat. Phases. Whenever a ship is hit by phases, it will lose 1 point from its shields. Smart missiles. Only your ship is equipped with this weapon. When you decide to fire a smart missile at an enemy ship, the missile will automatically home in on and destroy the enemy ship, regardless of how many shields the enemy may have left. Combat is conducted as follows. You select your targets. You may attack with both phases and smart missiles in the same combat round, firing phases at one ship while destroying another ship with a smart missile. Any enemy vessels attacked by a smart missile are now destroyed. They will not return fire with phases. Roll 2 dice for the phaser attack. If the result is higher than or equal to your ship's weapon strength, you have missed. Proceed to step 5. If the result is less than your ship's weapon strength, you have hit the enemy's ship. Reduce its shields by 1 point. If the enemy ship has not been destroyed, proceed to step 5. All undestroyed enemy ships return fire with phases in the following manner. Roll 2 dice. If the result is higher than or equal to the ship's weapon strength, the phases have missed you. If the result is less than the ship's weapon strength, the phases have hit you. Reduce your shields by 1 point. Combat continues from step 1 until either you or your opponent's ships are destroyed. Smart missiles. These deadly devices inflict instant and certain destruction upon enemy spacecraft. They can only be used once each. Your spacecraft begins with 2 of these weapons. Note that there is a section on the adventure sheet for keeping record of the number of smart missiles you have left in your armory. Okay, so you have 2 smart missiles. Let's put that down in equipment. Actually, let's put a separate thing. Let's replace magic with smart missiles, because we won't need magic, will we? Okay, so we have 2. Replacing stamina. If you become involved in any gun battles or other combat, you will almost certainly lose some stamina points. These may be recovered by taking energy tablets. Each tablet will restore 6 points to your stamina and can be taken at any time. You begin the adventure with 4 energy tablets. Okay, so... when I think of these energy tablets and things they have in these futuristic books, I always think of Lucozade tablets, just really sweet, a little bit chalky. Anyway, I'll just put on there, regain 6 stamina points each, just in case I forget. Your stamina score can never be made to exceed your initial level. Your credit account. During the course of your adventure, you will probably need certain amounts of cash. You begin the mission with 5,000 kopecks, the standard intergalactic currency. Record this amount and any expenses on the adventure sheet. Okay, so I'll just put kopecks 5,000. There we go. I hope they're like pounds, decent currency, rather than like Italian lira, where like 10,000 of them is like equivalent to a pound or something like that, something rubbish. Or the Zimbabwean dollar or whatever it is, where like 1 pound is equal to 2 trillion of them. Something bad like that. I hope it's not something like that. So, what I'm saying is, I hope it's a decent currency, is all I'm saying. Anyway, okay, here's the adventure sheet. Oh, they haven't written on it, that's good. Although, it's just a copy. This isn't my copy of the book, this is one I got from a torrent. My copy of the book is, I don't know, it's in the bookcase somewhere just behind me, but I can't be bothered to get it out. Anyway, mission briefing. The Galactic Federation consists of several hundred civilized worlds, all of which are signatories to certain basic federal laws and conventions. One of these concerns the suppression of trafficking in certain narcotic drugs. Simply, the export of narcotic drugs from one world to another is illegal. The Federal Police Force has become aware, however, of an extremely large flow of the illicit narcotic Satofil D from the tiny Aleph Cygni system. As the individual worlds are supposed to police these matters themselves, there has developed some concern that all is not well with the Aleph Cygni administration. With the obvious failure of the local administration to deal with this breach of federal law, your department, Federal Central Vice, has decided to send a Grade 1 investigator, you, to locate the source of this drug flow, penetrate the organisation responsible, and then destroy it. Now, because of the possible untrustworthiness of the Aleph Cygni authorities, you travel to the system incognito, posing as an interstellar travelling salesman with a cargo of exotic off-world fruit, spices and luxuries. Once in the system, you are on your own. Good luck. Now turn over. Oh. That was quick. Okay, let's go. Okay, paragraph 1. 5 minutes to hyperspace termination flashes on the command VD in front of you. An alarm bell chimes softly through the ship. In a few moments you will be entering the Aleph Cygni system, and if there has been any criminal infiltration into the Galactic Vice Squad, there could be a very hot reception. 4 minutes to hyperspace termination. Swiveling in your crash couch, you run a check through your spacecraft's weapon systems. Phasers, check. Smart missiles, 2. Check. Shield, check. Pretty hefty stuff for a travelling salesman, though no one's to know unless you have to use it. Until such time, your cover should remain intact. You charge up the conventional drive of your spaceship, raise the anti-spy beam shield, and grit your teeth for the stomach-twisting end to hyperspatial travel. Prepare for insertion into real space-time. The bottom drops out of the spaceship. You follow at some super light speed. Shh. Everything flies back together and is once again, apart from the hangover you seem to have developed in the last moment, back to normal. There, on the screen in front of you, is the Aleph Cygni system. The yellow star, Aleph Cygni, and its single planet, Kether. Kether, your cosmonav tells you, is a habitable world consisting of vast expanses of ocean and, apart from a few scattered islands, only one continental landmass. Circling this world is a small pockmarked moon known locally as Rispin's End. Not visible on your vidi screen, but to whose presence you are alerted by your cosmonav, is a vast belt consisting of hundreds of thousands of asteroids. Where will you begin your search for the drug runners? At the system's starport on Kether, 10 to 333, on the moon, 10 to 328, or in the asteroid belt, 10 to 372. Okay, there's the picture. Very futuristic. Okay, we are going to go to the system's starport on Kether and turn to 333. You land at Kether's only starport, which is on the continental landmass and only 10 miles... sorry, what is it? 10 times 5/8, that's 50/8, which is 16.25. Okay, 16... No, sorry, that's the wrong thing. Where's my calculator? Bear with me. I need 5/8 of 10. Seem to have... Yeah, 58. Sorry, 50 divided by 8. Sorry, 6.25, yeah. 6.25, not 16.25. Yeah, so where was I? You land at Kether's only starport, which is on the continental landmass and only 6.25 miles from the planet's capital city. Your ship is towed to its parking space, where, to your dismay, you are boarded by several customs officers looking for contraband. What drugs, you ask? They look at you smugly before replying, no, technology. They search your ship, making a mess everywhere they go, but they find nothing illegal and eventually leave the spacecraft. You could ask a few questions around the starport, 10 to 394, go to the local law enforcement headquarters and ask for some help, 10 to 255, or, if you want to keep a really low profile, find a shady starport canteen in which to conduct a few discreet inquiries, 10 to 299. We are going to Find a shady starport canteen in which to conduct a few discreet inquiries and turn to 299. Here we go. The canteen you find is advertised by a gaudy crypto-fluorescent animated sign depicting a large Crush-class stellar battleship diving into a foaming glass of undefined liquid. The sound effects are deafening, full of fusion motor roars, laser zaps, and dam-sized splashes. Looks promising. Entering the premises, you find the joint packed with drunken flotsam and jetsam. There is hearty laughter, the obligatory fight in the corner, and it is all very, very noisy. A small sign over the bar announces that no aliens are allowed. Very promising. Will you approach one of the barmaids for a tip about who in the bar might best be approached for a bit of underworld largesse? 10 to 30, or just mingle to see what you can find out? 10 to 362. Okay, we're going to approach one of the barmaids. And 10 to 30. Hi there, you shout at a young bar wench. I'm new in town and I'm sort of looking for somebody who can help a young, unscrupulous type of person like me get along without having to work in a regular way, see? Oh yeah, she shouts back disdainfully. What do you do, Zero Head? You perform a quick bit of thinking here. What's absolutely essential for a drug-producing outfit? I'm a chemist. I make funny little crystals for people to stick in their bloodstream, as you yell. She blinks at you a bit, obviously thinking without seeing you. Hiking up her skirt, she reveals a garter purse. Slapping it, she says, 500 kopecks. Jerk. Will you pay her, 10 to 323, or not? If you decide not to pay, you will have to mingle with the throng, 10 to 362. Is this actually English? Anyway, we're going to pay her the 500 kopecks, so that puts our kopecks down to 4,500. And we're going to turn to 323. Pay that man his money. Okay, well, that woman her money, anyway. Quoting Rounders. Anyway, you part with your 500. The barmaid pulls you close and points out two people at separate tables. One is a pale, drawn-looking man alone with his beer. The other is a fat, middle-aged woman playing cards with 6 or 7 men. Which will you approach? The man, 10 to 314, or the woman, 10 to 343? Okay, we're going to approach the man and 10 to 314. The man does not look at all surprised when you join him. In fact, there seems to be a certain recognition in his eyes. You talk to him for a while about how you're an off-world travelling salesman before mentioning that you'd be interested in expanding your operations to cover perhaps a few illicit items. He laughs at you. You're not a salesman. Ha! You're a narc. This, of course, startles you slightly. He is quick to reassure you. Leaning closer, he whispers, "We can't talk here. Meet me in 2 hours at the Hotel Miramar, room 1201. He then drains his glass, rises and walks from the canteen. You decide to meet him. Turn to 395. It is night. The Hotel Miramar is a dive. The elevator is out of order. There is no heating. Arriving at the 12th floor after running up the stairs, you lean for a moment in the doorway to catch your breath. The door to 1201, which is just next to you, opens. A shifty-looking character, putting something in his jacket pocket, steps out. He looks a bit surprised at seeing you. He waits impatiently by the elevator until, realizing that it is out of order, he heads for the stairs and clatters off down towards street level. Will you enter 1201, turn to 236, or follow the man who just left, turn to 295? Okay, we're going to enter 1201, so we're turning to 236. Okay, you tap gently on the door. No answer. You tap again. A groan comes from within. You try the door, but it is locked. The seconds are ticking away. The ever more distant sound of steps going down can still be heard. Will you force your way into the room, 10 to 158, or go in pursuit of the man who just went down the stairs, 10 to 197? Okay, we're going to force ourselves into the room. Okay, 158. Under a hefty shoulder, the door collapses. Inside, on the floor, in a pool of blood, is the man you were supposed to meet. Shot. His eyes open and he crooks a finger at you in an attempt to call you over. Beware, he whispers when you are closer. Beware of Zero Gross and Blaster B. He expires. The last word's too much for him. You search his body and find a wallet and a letter. The wallet identifies the man as being Arthur Flange, of no fixed address. The letter is from a friend or acquaintance of his. It reads, Dear Arthur, regarding our plans, 7 doesn't suspect yet. We must work out the final details. Meet me at the Cafe Heroes of the Federation on Thursday at 9 a.m. Clive Taurus. Will you go to meet Clive tomorrow in place of Arthur, 10 to 315, or go to the City Central Library to look up this Zero Gross that Arthur mentioned? Her name might be raised in a case list somewhere. Turn to 80. Okay. We're going to meet Clive tomorrow in place of Arthur. So we are going to turn to 315. It's exciting, isn't it? It's almost like a film noir. Okay, the Cafe Heroes of the Federation, you find, is a small establishment on the outskirts of the city. At 9 a.m. it is completely deserted. Seating yourself in a discreet position, you order breakfast and wait for Clive Taurus. After 2 hours, the only other people who have been in the cafe are 2 old ladies who had a slice of toast between them, a young couple and a child. None of them could possibly have been Clive. Looks like he's not going to show. Something might have happened to him, so you decide to follow him up. Will you ask the cafe owner if he's seen or heard from him, turn to 81, or try to find his address, turn to 276. Okay, we're going to try and find his address and turn to 276. Okay, you look him up in the Vidiphone directory. There is only one C. Taurus of 113 Fifth Avenue, City. You catch a helicab into the city, find Fifth Avenue and Taurus's apartment. A knock on the door brings a woman in answer, probably his wife. He's not here, she says, fighting hard to restrain tears. He's not here. She looks as if she has been frightfully upset over something. Will you pose as one of Clive's colleagues, turn to 237, or let her know that you are a narcotics investigator, turn to 198, to elicit his whereabouts? Okay. We're going to pose as one of Clive's colleagues and turn to 237. I'm one of Clive's colleagues, you say. Do you know where he is? Her face twists and she begins to cry. Oh, why don't you leave us alone? Go back to Sparks where all your filthy mates hang out, and then slams the door in your face. Well, well, Sparks, you discover, is a bar down by the starport. Might as well go and have a look there. Turn to 286. Entering the place, you are struck by the noise and thick atmosphere. What a joint! You saunter up to the bar, order a drink, and then turn to survey the crowd. Standing in front of you, blasters pointing at your stomach from roughly 7 inches away, are 2 men. Come with us, they say matter-of-factly, or we will kill you. You would almost certainly be shot to pieces if you tried to jump them, so you do as they say. They lead you out the back, 10 to 316. Out the back is a large black ground car with reflective windows. They bundle you into the rear, keeping their guns trained on you. Time for a little ride. Ha ha, laughs the driver. You are taken for a drive out of the city and into the country, to a large manor house. There are shady-looking gunmen all over the grounds. As you are led out of the car towards the house, you see an opportunity to escape. A quick dive into a privet hedge, followed by a short roll down an embankment, and then a sprint for all you're worth. Will you attempt this escape, turn to 277, or let the gunman lead you into the house, turn to 170? Okay, we're going to let the gunman lead us into the house, turn to 170. They lead you into the manor house, turn to 151. You find yourself in a plush room, either a library or a study. Books on real wooden shelves line the walls. There is real wooden furniture, heavy and smoky with long years. Behind a massive desk sits an equally massive but certainly uglier woman. She smiles, gap-toothed at you. You gave us quite a turn, you did, dropping out of space all unexpected like. Isn't that so, boys? She looks around at the other gangsters who are lolling about on the rest of the furniture, cigarettes dangling from their lips and bleary, boozy eyes fixed disinterestedly on you. You know, I don't like that word disinterestedly, because to be disinterested means to be impartial. It doesn't really mean uninterested. It means impartial. A judge is disinterested because he's impartial. At least he's supposed to be anyway. You know, the proper word is uninterested. It means you're not interested. You have no interest in them. Whereas disinterested means impartial. So that does annoy me a bit. So I'm going to say that again. Boozy eyes fixed uninterestedly on you. Yeah, they answer. We don't have federal investigators visiting our little planet at all often, do we, boys? She asks again. Nah. Suddenly, she leans forward, staring at you. Her voice is icy. You have two choices, Narc. Either you go to a meeting that we've arranged for you to pick up a box of documents for us, or else. Will you agree to go to the meeting, turn to 35, or take the or else, turn to 112? And there she is. Certainly not Hubba Hubba. Right. We are going to decide what to do in the next video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this part. In the next part we'll decide whether we're going to do as she says or take the or else. Thanks again and goodbye.